Hello there, Sagittarius. Thank you so much for stopping by for your Tarot Insights video. These videos generally are good for about 28 to 30 days. What we're looking at is one life cycle that you're going through right now. We have life cycles to set us up to either learn something or experience something. And so we'll look at the setup of that life cycle, we'll look at the lesson or experience, and then we'll look at what happens as you incorporate that life cycle in, or that lesson or that experience, I should say, into your life. So I'm just clearing the cards right now. I haven't been around a while. Thank you guys for so patiently waiting. I know you saw the Scorpio video go up and you were thinking, any day now it's going to be Sagittarius's turn. I actually took a couple of days and did readings at a local store, and then after that I ended up sick with bronchitis, and so I'm getting over that. I'm almost completely over that, as a matter of fact. I went to one of my Reiki apprenticeship meetings, and everybody there actually sent me energy, which has helped me a lot. So we're going to see if I can make it through your video today without having to hack up a lung or lose a voice. So let's find out. For those of you excuse me, who live in the local area, I do offer psychic parties where either I read for you and your friends at the party, or where I facilitate as you guys explore your own psychic abilities. I probably am still not going to be doing something like that for about a week, just in case I don't want to spread any germs. And then I've also, in the local area, I do house clearings. So if you need help getting rid of negative energy in your house, or if you're trying to sell your house and you want it to sell more quickly, you may want to just get rid of stagnant energy. I'm the person to call for those things. Local area to me is Golden, Colorado, and anywhere within a reasonable 2-hour drive. Not something where I'm going to be attracting cops' attention, but a reasonable 2-hour drive. Okay, so other services that I offer are addiction relief services, live readings, either by Skype or on the phone, and I also offer pre-recorded 1 or 2 question readings, which are private, and then I have 1 question readings for $6 only, which are published on the internet. You don't have to use your real name for those, although I do need to know your real name to connect well. So anyway, now that we've gone over everything that I do, and I've told you where I've been for a while, let's see what we can find for your life cycle, Sagittarius. Alrighty, so Sagittarius, the first thing that I'm looking at tells me that about your environment. And your environment is any place where you have energy or effort invested. So usually I see it come up as home. Sometimes people tell me that I'm talking to them about work or about school. So just be open anywhere you have energy or effort invested. So what we have about the environment is that things feel tight there. It feels like things are kind of constricted. There's a little bit of limitation. It's not terrible, but you are definitely feeling limited in your environment in some way. Now, next thing I'm looking at talks to me about your subconscious leanings, Sagittarius, and this tells me that your subconscious is really working on, how can I get in some good news about money, honey? How do you bring in good news about money? So this may be that you're looking for, how can I get a promotion? How can I get a raise? You may be looking for, how can I create other streams of income into my life? Your subconscious is working on, how can you loosen things up financially for yourself? Okay, next thing that we're looking at talks to me about, first of all, your learning style, and secondly, your communication style. Learning style is just telling me that right now, at least as it pertains to this particular life cycle, and we'll know more about what this is all about as we work through it. But as far as learning style, I feel like you want everything to be very methodical, very organized. You want your information to make sense as it comes in, one bit at a time, building block upon building block. You're not somebody right now that wants to be given part of the information and then just jump in and do something. You want to understand it thoroughly and fully before you're actually having to make practical use of the information that you're getting right now. As far as communication style, I really feel like you guys are sort of blocked up. To me, this comes in as you have a serious fifth chakra blockage with the throat chakra, where you're just not saying the things that are important to you or saying the things that you feel like need to be said. You're keeping your mouth closed. You're not expressing yourself in a way that's healthy. You're holding everything in right now. Next thing I'm looking at, Sagittarius, for you guys, talks about work. And for me, I look at work two ways. So we're going to look at this both ways. We're going to look at how you make a living or whatever it is you do to feel like you are contributing to society. And then we're also going to look at inner work that you're doing on your own self. So as far as how you contribute to society, it feels to me like you guys have this sense of being stuck. For some of you, this is not feeling like you have a way to express that, a way to make money, or a way to contribute to society right now. For others of you, this is a feeling more of you have a job, sure, but you're not feeling very fulfilled in it. You're not feeling like what you're contributing is meaningful, okay? And then as we look at inner work, what do we have going on here? You're really chomping at the bit to make some changes, and I'm hearing that these changes do not only apply to work, but they also apply to other parts of your life as well. You are feeling like, I want to say, Sagittarius, that you're feeling like changes are just on the verge of happening, and you're ready. You're more than ready. You're like, hey, my bag is packed. Let's go. Let's make these changes. And so the inner work is kind of to reconcile and have the patience to let those changes work their way in. There's also something coming up, too, about finding a direction. For a lot of you Sagittarians, you know you want to make a change, but you're not sure where you want that change to take you. And so some of the inner work for some of you is about finding the direction that you actually want to go from where you are now. All right, so there is that. By the way, guys, this is a general reading, so not everything will apply to every Sagittarian. My agreement with Sacred Spirit is that most of it will apply to most of you. However, unfortunately, not everybody is always in the majority. So if it doesn't apply, you may want to see whenever I come out with your rising sign if that works better for you or not. Or you may want to get your own private reading where I can look at just your particular energies instead of looking at the whole groups. Let's move on. The next thing that I'm looking at here talks to me about that part of you that's being grown or expanded right now. It looks to me, Sagittarius, like there's a situation that you have previously decided was not a reciprocal situation, that, if it was work, it wasn't paying you enough, or the benefits weren't good enough. Or if it was a relationship, you were feeling like it was all one-sided. You were the only one putting anything into the relationship. And so because of that, you had chose to walk away from whatever this situation was that was more one-sided than two-sided. So where you're being grown or expanded right now is that I see you actually coming back to that old situation. And I feel like you're coming back to it because you have this thought in your mind that if I handle this in this way, then I won't have those same issues or those same problems. I want you to be really careful about that. This comes up as being a little bit of a deceptive thought pattern. So I want you to really, try to step back and be objective and look at this and look at how realistic you're actually being as you are considering this. I think that would help you to get some clarity as you're dealing with the situation, whatever you end up deciding to do. Next thing that I want to look at talks to me about things that you stand for. And it looks to me, Sagittarius, like right now you're in some kind of disagreement with somebody, or you have been in a disagreement with somebody. And this is somebody that is important. This disagreement is significant. And I think that, you're having to really think about, okay, um, why? Why are we in this disagreement? Is this disagreement a valid one? And I think that you've come to the conclusion that your stance here is a valid one and that you need to maintain that. You need to hold that stance. Now, how other people perceive you, Sagittarians. From the outside looking in, whenever other people think about you, one of the things that they think about is that maybe you're not as responsible as you could be with financials or with material goods. So from their perspective, they're seeing you as, somebody who kind of blows the budget every once in a while, or somebody who doesn't really bring the money in to make ends go around or make the ends meet. Now, earlier when I was looking at your outer work, some of you are out of work. It's kind of hard to make ends meet when you're out of work. So, maybe they're a little justified in saying, yeah, ends aren't meeting for you. Maybe not so justified in saying, well, it's because this person, isn't doing what it takes. The nice thing about this particular position in the spread is that this is just how other people perceive you. It doesn't mean that they are perceiving you in a true way. It doesn't mean that they have the whole picture, that they have all the facts even. So I don't put a lot of weight on that card. I think it's interesting and it can be beneficial to know how other people are perceiving us, but I also never put myself in a position where I'm beating myself up over what other people think. And I don't want you guys to do that either. You guys know the big picture. You know what's really going on. You know if you're doing well or not. So, it really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. It's beneficial when you're interacting with them to know what they think, because that helps you to be able to relate to them in a way that they understand and they get. But that doesn't mean that we have to take what they think to heart and, try to live up to what they think. All right, so everything that we've looked at so far, Sagittarians, is probably going to be stuff that's already ringing true to you. You're already going to be recognizing it in your life. If you're only recognizing some of it, then I would only say that some of the rest of the reading is for you. So if you're recognizing like 85-90% of this, I would say 85-90% of the rest of the reading would actually apply to you, because you're going to be following pretty much that same trend. If you're listening to me and you're going, wow, I have no idea what this lady is talking about, then guess what? This reading isn't for you. Shut down this video right now. Now, if it just so happens that you get a couple of days down the road and all of a sudden you're going, wow, this clicks what she said, and this clicks what she said, and this clicks what she said, then you might want to come back and re-listen to the video and actually listen to the end of it just to see what's coming up next. But at this point, if you're not really relating to much on this video, I would say it's probably not for you, and I would just move on. Like I said, you can always get a private reading where I look specifically into your own particular energies instead of, this wide open group of people's energies. All right, so there we go. Next, we're going to start looking at things that may or may not be in the future. Some of you will be experiencing all of these. Some of you will be just starting to experience the first one. Some of you will be somewhere in between. You'll recognize as I go through. Also, too, it's going to depend when you listen to this as well. Now, our lesson or experience that this life cycle has set you up for, Sagittarius, is one that talks about heartbreak. And what I'm hearing is that this is not actually a new heartbreak for you, but that this is something that you haven't really allowed yourself to think about or look at. So in other words, this is something that either you've been sweeping the signs of it under the rug, or that you've had suppressed. This could be really old, that you've had suppressed for a long time, and it's going to be different for different ones of you. So this life cycle is setting you up to be able to actually look at this. It's helping to give you the strength to be able to take a look at this old heartache, because I do feel like in most cases this is more of an old heartache than new. It's something that's been around. You just haven't been paying attention to it. You haven't wanted to pay attention to it. And who can blame you? Who wants to pay attention to heartache? Okay, so this life cycle is kind of putting you in a position where you have no choice but to look at that. All right, so as you are experiencing it, as you are processing it, as you are dealing with this heartache that you're looking at now, you've got some things that are happening in your life. So this is called the fulfillment of the life cycle. It's what happens as you incorporate the lesson or experience. So the first thing that comes up as you're incorporating this lesson or experience, or as you're dealing with this heartache, is you're stashing money away. Okay? And isn't that funny? Because before we had, somebody talking about, well, they're not that responsible with their money or their material goods. You're stashing it away. Maybe that's why they think you're not so responsible. Maybe because you've been putting it back and they just think, well, why are they always broke all the time? Well, you're not broke. You're just not spending money because you have goals and you have some money set back to help you make those goals. But anyway, also with this whole thing of work being really stagnant and feeling like it's not moving forward, the idea of stashing money away comes up too as a way of helping you to move forward out of the stagnant situation with work. Maybe you're stashing money away now because or in the future, because you are saving up. You want to take some classes. You want to grab some new skills that you can put on your resume so that you can get a job that you don't feel stagnant in, that actually helps you to feel fulfilled. Okay? But there's definitely something going on here where you are setting money aside for your future. All right? And it's because of learning to deal with this heartache and processing it. And how do I respond to this? How do I alleviate this? Okay, so part of alleviating this is setting aside some savings for a particular goal. The other thing that comes up as you're dealing with this heartache process is telling me that you are focusing. Where before, maybe your energies were a little scattered and you were having a hard time trying to decide what you wanted to do moving forward, what you wanted to do with your future, what you wanted to do to take care of business as far as financially. And all of this is looking like more and more of a financial read to me, by the way. And so as long as you have been in the financial world, I think you've always been thinking about different options and trying different things. And so now what's going on is you're getting really focused. You're picking something to focus on and you're really working with that, whatever that is, whether it's impressing the boss at your job or whether it has to do with creating your own work on the side, or whether it has to do with studying and getting some new skills. But there's something that you're getting really focused on here that is your goal is for that to help you move forward in some kind of financial way. Okay? I can see where you'd be easily motivated. Looking at this as talking about job, career, finance, seeing you going back to a position where you felt like you were putting in way more than what you were being paid for. Obviously, you're motivated to make some changes here. Okay, so ultimate fulfillment of this life cycle. I think you're being quiet about the changes that you want to make. So you've got some plans, you're getting focused, but I don't think you're telling everybody around what you're doing. There's a little bit of a I don't want to jinx it type of feeling. There's a little bit of a what if it doesn't work type of feeling. There's a lot contributing to this not sharing what you're doing with everyone around you. I think that for a lot of you, you feel like the people around you wouldn't believe in you or believe that you would be able to pull this off. So why tell them about it? They're certainly not going to encourage you. And so that's the reason why you're being quiet about it for some of you. Okay? So that is basically a life cycle for you, Sagittarius. What happens is this keeping it quiet type of thing becomes the seed for the next life cycle, getting ready to set you up to learn or experience the next thing. So I don't think that these secrets are permanent. Eventually they'll come out. But for right now, you don't feel like you're ready to share them. The seeds of what you're doing are still too small to go around showing people. You're going to wait until there's some kind of fruit here. Okay? So there you go, Sagittarius. Thank you so much, everybody, for stopping by, for hanging out, for liking, sharing, subscribing, and commenting. I do appreciate all of your support. I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.